When you think Sith Lord, you think Darth Vader. He's the gold standard, a symbol of terror and power that brought the galaxy to its knees. The Emperor's wrath, given form, a peerless duelist and a master of the dark side. His very presence could choke the life out of a room. But what if the most dangerous opponent he could ever face wasn't a Jedi, but another Sith? And not just any Sith. We're talking about a being whose command of the Force was so alien, so horrifying, it could potentially unmake Vader entirely. Today, we're breaking down two titans of the dark side to answer one question. Who is the one Sith Lord that could actually destroy Darth Vader? Before this dream match can begin, we need to know our fighters. And just to be clear, for this to even be possible, we're pulling from the wild and wonderful history of Star Wars legends, where both of these Dark Lords were at their absolute peak. First up, the challenger, Darth Nihilus, the Lord of Hunger. Hailing from the Old Republic era, Nihilus wasn't a Sith in the way we usually think of them. He was a survivor of a superweapon disaster on the planet Malachor 5, an event so horrific it literally tore a hole in the Force. Nihilus, in a way, became that wound. It's a common interpretation, though the lore remains ambiguous, that his physical body is essentially gone. Instead, his spirit is believed to be bound to his iconic mask and armor, making him less of a man and more of a walking black hole with one single terrifying purpose: to consume. And in the other corner, the legend himself, Darth Vader. We're looking at the Legends version of Vader at his zenith, a warrior who spent decades sharpening his rage into a weapon. He's a brilliant and ruthless military commander who has perfected his lightsaber style and expanded his force abilities to a terrifying degree. He's a telekinetic powerhouse, capable of tossing around armored vehicles and collapsing huge structures with a gesture. He is, for all intents and purposes, the ultimate warrior. So that's our conflict. The galaxy's greatest warrior versus a living force of nature. It's raw skill versus a supernatural cheat code. Let's get into it. Let's start with the most obvious measure of a warrior, skill with a blade. And in this category, it's not even a contest. Darth Vader is one of the most masterful duelists the galaxy has ever seen. Period. He kept all the skill and muscle memory of the Jedi prodigy Anakin Skywalker and supercharged it with the raw, brutal power of the dark side. His fighting style is a custom-built hybrid, leveraging his immense cybernetic strength and resilience. He has faced down and defeated a whole host of powerful enemies, including Jedi Masters and deadly assassins. For Vader, combat is like breathing. Darth Nihilus is another story. The lore gives us very little about his actual dueling talent. We know he carries a lightsaber, and he does engage the Jedi exile in combat in Knights of the Old Republic 2. However, there's nothing to suggest his technical skill is anywhere near Vader's level. It's a safe bet that his lightsaber is more of a formality, a symbol of his station, rather than his primary weapon. His true power lies somewhere far darker. This round is a clean sweep. Vader's experience, technique, and lifetime focus on martial combat are just overwhelming. In a straight-up sword fight, Vader's victory isn't just likely, it's practically guaranteed. This is where the matchup gets really interesting. Both of these guys are incredibly hard to kill, but for completely different reasons. Vader's durability comes from his armor and his own sheer will. He is a walking fortress. His suit can shrug off blaster bolts, and his cybernetics give him superhuman strength. Beyond that, his body is in a state of constant pain, a furnace that has forged an unbreakable will to survive. He can push through injuries that would kill anyone else through pure, concentrated hatred. But he has clear weaknesses. His suit is famously vulnerable to lightning, and his chest-mounted life support system is a big, obvious target. Nihilus's durability, on the other hand, is believed to be metaphysical. And this is where fan theories really take over. One popular interpretation is that he doesn't really have a physical body to wound in the first place. You can't break his bones or make him bleed if they aren't there. But here's the catch. In Knights of the Old Republic 2, the player does defeat him in a duel. This suggests he isn't completely immune to physical attacks, even if his fundamental nature is otherworldly. Fan theories argue over whether striking his mask is the key or if his entire suit of armor has to be destroyed. But the lore itself never gives a clear answer. So who takes it? We have to call this a draw. Vader has incredible, but conventional durability with known weak points. Nihilus's durability is bizarre and not fully understood. He's immune to conventional damage in a way Vader is not, but his very existence is also strangely fragile. This is it. This is the heart of the entire debate, and it's where the Lord of Hunger makes his terrifying case for victory. Darth Vader is a monster in the Force. His potential as the Chosen One gave him a raw power ceiling that few in history could ever dream of reaching. He is a master of telekinesis, capable of tearing apart starships, creating impenetrable force barriers, and crushing his enemies' internal organs from afar. His power is direct, brutal, and wielded with the precision of a master tactician. But Darth Nihilus isn't even playing the same game. His signature ability, the one that makes him a true contender, is Force Drain. And it's on a scale that is almost impossible to comprehend. He doesn't just siphon energy from a person. He can use this power to devour the life and force energy of an entire planet. He proved this at the Miraluka colony on Katar, where he wiped out almost all life from orbit simply by focusing his hunger. The real question is, could Vader resist an attack like that? The argument for Vader is his immense willpower. There's even a Legends story where Anakin learned to resist a superweapon that drained life force. But comparing that weapon to Nihilus is like comparing a campfire to a supernova. Nihilus doesn't just drain life, he eats the Force itself. As his former master, Kriya, explained, his very presence is a potential death sentence for most Force users. His drain isn't an attack you can just block. It's a constant, passive vortex that pulls all energy toward him. The Jedi exile was only able to defeat him because she too was a wound in the Force, a unique state that heavily implies she was a natural counter to his hunger. Vader, for all his power, is not a wound. He is a raging inferno of the Force, which to Nihilus would look like a feast. In a contest of pure Force power, Vader's toolkit is massive. But Nihilus has one move, and it's the ultimate cheat code in Star Wars. If he gets the chance to use it, it's almost impossible to argue that Vader could survive. So we have a clear split. Vader wipes the floor with him in a duel. They're arguably matched in durability, and Nihilus holds what looks like an unbeatable trump card in the Force. How does this fight actually end? The entire outcome hinges on one single factor: time. Darth Vader isn't just a brute. He's one of the sharpest tactical minds in the galaxy. He would immediately sense the profound wrongness of Nihilus. He would recognize that this isn't a duelist to be tested, or an opponent to be outsmarted. He would see Nihilus as an abomination that had to be exterminated with absolute speed and prejudice. Vader's best path to victory, and likely his only one, is an all-out blitz, an overwhelming, non-stop assault from the very first second. He can't give Nihilus a moment to breathe, or a single second to focus his terrifying hunger. Vader would have to use his massive superiority in lightsaber combat to press the attack, using the Force to create openings and close the distance for a final, decisive blow. It becomes a race. Can Vader's blade break Nihilus apart and sever his connection to the Force before Nihilus's draining presence takes hold and starts to unmake him? In our opinion, the most probable outcome is that Vader would succeed. This is highly speculative, of course, but it's rooted in everything we know about Vader's character. His tactical genius and overwhelming skill in close-quarters combat give him the exact tools he needs to win. He wouldn't try to fight Nihilus on Nihilus's terms. He would turn it into a brutal, close-range brawl. A fight Nihilus simply isn't built for. The winner in a 7 out of 10 scenario is likely Darth Vader. But, and this is a huge but, in those other 3 scenarios, Nihilus wins. If Vader hesitates, if he miscalculates, if the fight starts at a distance, or if Nihilus recognizes the threat and unleashes his hunger first. Vader is annihilated. He wouldn't just be killed, he would be erased. His body, his armor, and his very connection to the Force would be consumed, leaving nothing behind. Darth Vader may be the ultimate warrior, but Darth Nihilus represents the ultimate metaphysical threat, a hard counter in the Force that no amount of dueling skill can overcome once it takes hold. This was a true clash of titans, pitting 2 totally different expressions of the dark side against each other, the warrior versus the void. While our analysis gives the edge to the Dark Lord of the Sith, The sheer cosmic horror of Darth Nihilus' power makes him one of the only beings in the lore who poses a credible existential threat to Vader. But hey, that's our breakdown. What do you think? Did we get it right, or did we miss a key piece of lore that would tip the scales? Let us know who you think wins this ultimate showdown in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more. Thanks for watching.